A second data processing center, better known as a Bitcoin mine, could be on the way to Woodbury County, Iowa, if approved by county officials next week. Bitcoin mines have proved controversial across the United States and right here in Siouxland as well. They're big customers for electric companies and they add to the tax base, but they can be loud and bothersome to rural residents simply looking for peace and quiet. KTIV's Matt Hoffman reports.
Off a quiet gravel road outside of Salix, Iowa, a Bitcoin mine hums behind an electrical substation. By our measurement, the decibels read between 50 and 70 near the road. That's about the level of a normal conversation. Soon, a second mine could be on the way, this time closer to rural homes.
It appears, at least with these two in Woodbury County, that they tend to like to locate them near these utility substations.
That's Daniel Priestley, Woodbury County's zoning coordinator. The second Bitcoin mine would be located at 170th Street and Kossuth Avenue, west of Correctionville and south of Highway 20. Priestley says the nearest home would be more than 1,000 feet away from that site. But in Stanton County, Nebraska, some homeowners there live farther away from a much larger mine, and they complain of nearly nonstop frustration from the noise.
And we encourage all concerned citizens to come forward and offer input. Anybody that's experienced these before.
Woodbury County doesn't have a specific ordinance when it comes to Bitcoin mines, so the applicants, AUR Correctionville, will need to request a conditional use permit. If a mining company just needs a conditional use permit, then the final say goes to the appointed members of the Board of Adjustment. But if a mining company needs to actually rezone the land the mine sits on, then the final say is given to the elected Board of Supervisors. Near Salix, Iowa, Matt Hoffman, KTIV News 4.
Only landowners who own property within 500 feet would have received a written notice about that next meeting of the Board of Adjustment. But anyone with input, either for or against the proposed mine, is welcome to speak. It's at 6 p.m. on Monday, August 5th at the Woodbury County Courthouse basement.